Hello, hello. This is going to be part 2 of Hansa CV. So this one is going to be carrying when the team tries to throw. It's going to, spoiler alert, it's going to be pretty close at the end. Let's get it loaded in. Let me just adjust the screen right here. Sorry about that. Alright, that should be good. Now just waiting to load in. And yeah, first things first, looking at the matchmaking. We have an enemy Midway, so we can. He only has 2 fighter squads. He might be running AP bombs. He might be running AG bombs. You gotta find that out. There is only 2 guaranteed defensive fires on the team. There could be a possible 4 in total. So the Salem and Stalingrad we know have defensive fire. Buffalo and Ibuki might. Other than that, there's a PWP Yamato, so we know that he's pretty good, judging by the clan he's in. So we have to focus him down if we get the chance. Other than that, 3 destroyers, 2 Shimikazes, 1 Cossack. Nothing really special. Stalingrad and Salem are both AP bombable, so there's that. We're going to start with fighters first again, as you can see by these 2 arrows. We actually have a Worcester, a Minotaur, a Seattle, and a Neptune, so that puts us really really well against the enemy CV, since we have so much int here. We do have a Musashi, so we're gonna have to protect him. In terms of destroyers, Z52 has pretty good AA. It's an AA rating of 50. It's in the 60s, I think. That's pretty good for a destroyer. So we're launching our 2 group and our 3 group first, to make sure that we can get some early spotting in for our team, try and find out the enemy positions and where they're trying to go. I'm communicating to my team in chat to kill the Stalin and the Salem because they are the only ones with guaranteed defensive fires. So yeah, they're a 3 group, and I'm taking off all my bombers with torpedo bombers first, for if I want to go after a destroyer. And then lastly AP bombers, since they're not going to be that important early game, since everyone still has their AA intact. It's going to be pretty hard to get them anywhere without getting shot down, especially the high AA ships. So I'm gonna go and try the spot for B, because that seems to be where most of our team is headed. Our Z52 is heading to C. We find their Stalingrad, and next we find their Salem, so that's really important. Now we know that all of their defensive fires, guaranteed defensive fires at least, are in 1 spot. So the other flank is pretty much undetected, or I mean unprotected in terms of int here. So we're gonna fighter juiced over B. I want to keep our Shimikaze unspotted because he's gonna be really valuable to us. I'm gonna try and strafe in, strafe out. Unfortunately, UI bugs out and I fail the strafe. It doesn't count as a strafe. So yeah, I end up clicking, and unfortunately for us, he clicks us over a Neptune and a Seattle, so that means we will win the fighter battle, even though we probably shouldn't have. So yeah, 3 group, we can exit strafe in again. 6 planes for our 3, probably wasn't the best trade, but yeah. The enemy Midway kills our tier 8 French cruiser. That wasn't, yeah. I'm gonna try and go in for a preemptive strafe on these HE dive bombers. AP bombers, gotta bring them back. Don't want to get them strafed. We're gonna try and go after the Stalingrad with our armor piercing bombs. I know he has defensive fire, but even with defensive fire, we can see that he's about to go bow in on this island. That means he's gonna stop. And soft cruisers are really easy to hit even with defensive fire on. I'm going to wait a bit to make sure that he stops completely next to this island. I send our torpedo bombers up to the north to try and get an early kill on the Shimikaze. And here comes our dive bombers in for the strike. 3 citadels, 6 pens, 3 overpens, 31,000 damage, so that's not bad for an early drop. Now we know he didn't use defensive fire that time, actually, which is pretty surprising. I send in my 4 group and 5 group to try and finish the job on the Stalingrad. A Stalingrad killed is always a good thing, because they're usually people with Stalingrads are good players. So we want to get all the good players off as fast as possible. So our torpedo bomber is coming down from the north. We are in a pretty bad spot, down 200 points, down 2 people, down 3 caps. C cap is actually uncontested, but for some reason our team is sailing around C cap and not into C cap. Finally, our Minotaur has the brains to go into C, and he starts capping. So most of their team has lemming trained down to B cap, or the south of it anyway. So you can see the Stalingrad is stationary. I can go in for an angle drop on him. And here I go. He does actually use defensive fire, so my drop does get panicked, which is unfortunate. Had it not been panicked, I probably could have killed him. I'd leave him on like 8,000 health. And then he's going to flood down to like 600, so I'm telling my team, focus fire the Stalingrad, because we need to get him killed. He goes undetected. I fly in my 3 group to try and keep him spotted, or I will. Our Minotaur kills their Shimakaze, so that's good. 600 health, he stops flooding, and Conqueror Salvo, nope, misses. So yeah, we need to kill that Stalingrad before he heals up. So you can see I'm sending in my 3 group to try and find him. We know the enemy fighters are dead, so we know we can bomb whatever we want. My dive bombers are up again, and enemy torpedo bombers are heading to the Minotaur and the Worcester. I know the Minotaur and the Worcester are there. They both haven't used their defensive fire, so I'm not worried about protecting them. Their AA is enough to shoot down anything that comes near them. The enemy CV makes a questionable play here, and he tries to engage me over a Worcester and a Minotaur, which is a mistake. Maybe he just wasn't microing enough, or he wasn't paying attention. But yeah, I click him over Worcester, and he's gonna lose most of his fighters, or one of his fighter squads there. I'm gonna find this Cossack. We're just spotting 4 torpedoes to make sure they don't torpedo our Seattle or our Conqueror. The Salem is pushing in. We want to get him dead, so you can see there's a click fight over with our 2 group. I pull it back. I don't want them to get strafed, so I pull them back over Seattle and here. I'm watching for a slight hesitation, which means that he started a strafe, so I'm just going to circle around his fighter squad to make sure that he doesn't get an opportunity to strafe. My 3 group has finished battling with his 3 group, so now I can just click on his other fighter squad. So I pull my fighters out one way. I pull my bombers out one way. I know that if he tries to exit strafe onto my bombers, I can counter exit and kill all of his fighters in one instant. So yeah, armor piercing bombs come in on this Salem. I don't think he uses offensive fire this time around, and we get a pretty good drop in 2,000 or 32,000 damage. The torp should kill him, except they don't. The Musashi is pretty isolated. For some reason he's decided to go the long way around C and isolated himself in the process, so that's kind of his fault for not sticking with the Worcester and the Minotaur. Fortunately, we've circled around and now we're in D. So now they have pretty much no map control. We have 2/3 of the maps. We're in a pretty good spot to pressure them here. They've killed 3 ships, we've killed 2. We've done a pretty good amount of damage so far, 94,000. The Seattle is going to get pressured and die. That's going to be a problem for us. I know the Salem has used defensive fire, so I'm going to try and follow up with the torps. Stalingrad is getting pressured from the north, so that's pretty good. We want to get these. We want to get these 2 out of the battle as fast as possible because we know they have defensive fires. There's 1 drop, and I pull in the. I know that 4 group is going to finish the job, so I pull back my 5 group. I'm looking for a drop on either the Stalingrad or the Yamato because they're both very influential players. The enemy CV has been spotted in the south. He should have been. He makes a misplay. He's still in J6 when he should be in somewhere like H1. You always want to stay with your team and watch the map constantly to make sure that you're not getting isolated and flanked when you're in a CV. We drop our 5 group on the Ibuki, but unfortunately he does carry defensive fire over Hydra. So now we know that this Ibuki carries defensive fire. Armor piercing bombs are back up. He's trying to kill the Minotaur again. I don't blame him. Minotaur's going to kill him eventually, so that's the only one that he can really go for. My 3 group and 2 group go down to the south to make sure that we can keep his planes off of our Sashio. So it's 10 minutes in. We have a pretty hefty lead, 4 caps to their none. We're down to 100 points, but their lead is not going to stay for long if it stays like this with them having no caps. So I'm going to bring 2 group up to the north to try and find that Shimakaze, because he's going to flank around in Cap A. That's going to be a problem for us. And yeah, as you can see, A cap has started becoming contested, so I'm going to try and fly up there. I ping the map to try and get people to swing their guns around, maybe the Alabama spotter plane. I'm going to send my armor piercing dive bombers to the south to try and go around the Yamato's anti-air and go for the Stalingrad, get him out of the match. Torpedo bombers are up, and look how fast we were able to turn the lead around. We're now only down about 90 points to their, so yeah, the Midway dies, Minotaur kills the Midway. So yeah, that means we're up by about 30 points. Whoops. And yeah, now look, check out this lead. We have a huge lead, and now keep this in mind for 3 minutes later. Watch, remember how much of a lead we have. Okay, so I'm keeping the Shimakaze spotted. Dive bombers are going around to finish the Stalingrad. I'm moving in because I don't want to get flanked from the north by the Shimakaze. I'm going to try and send my torpedo groups to try and cross drop the Shimakaze to make sure I don't get spotted and die. So yeah, Stalingrad doesn't use defensive fire this time, interestingly enough. Maybe it's because he didn't notice, but yeah, we do end up killing him. I set my dive bombers on a return path past the Asashio back to my carrier, because I don't want to fly over the North Carolina Yamato. That's not a good idea. So my torpedo bombers are moving north to find this Shimakaze. There he is. And we're going to go in for the cross drop. In a cross drop, you always want to start at a 90-degree angle. He's going to turn in. I predict that. I send my 4 group. Yeah, he's going to turn in. 4 group starts to drop. It's kind of like a game he's playing here. He's actually doing a really good job of maneuvering. 4 group starts to drop. It's a bit too far back, so I follow up with the 5 group. If he turns in, he's going to eat 2 or maybe 1. Yeah, that's annoying. He's left on 95 health. He has used damage control, so I'm trying to tell my team to kill the Shimakaze. He's only 95 health. I'm going to bring my 3 group back to keep him spotted, make sure he doesn't get away. Unfortunately, he will capture C. He's going to get undetected. Yeah. So now that the enemy carrier is dead, we have basically no use for our fighters other than scouting. So I'm going to bring my 3 group back to CCAP to make sure this Shimakaze does die. We're at a 200 point lead right now. Kill wise, it's pretty much equal. We all have the same amount of ships, same classes of each. I do get detected here. That's by that Shimakaze up in CCAP. So I'm going to stop right here to make sure I don't get dunked by the Yamato. I'm going to turn in so that I don't eat fire from the west side. Minotaur is going to finish the job on this Shimakaze one day. There you go. And with the Shimakaze dead, and we're down 3 caps now. Our Z-52 dies to a Buffalo. Now we're down 3 caps, and we're still equal. They have we have 902 points. They have 620. But that lead's not going to stay for long if our team keeps dying like they are, and if they keep throwing away map control. Yamato and Buffalo Ibuki are all pushing in, and watch how fast these guys die. So our Minotaur has friendly torped our Musashi, and yeah, it's an accident, but why? He's gonna, our Musashi has used damage control, so now he's gonna flood out. Our Alabama's in a bad spot. Our Minotaur is broadsiding the Yamato, so he's gonna die too. Our Worcester kills the Cossack, fortunately. Our Musashi's pushing into a crossfire, that's just why. I see that C cap has been captured. I know that we can't win this if they have 3 caps and we have 1. Despite the lead that we may have, they're going to turn it around really quickly, so I'm heading up north to try and get a capture of C. I probably shouldn't. It's probably a bad idea. It could get me killed, but you gotta do what you have to do. I go in for a drop on this Yamato. Looks like the Musashi's going to run the Buffalo, interestingly enough. Yeah. I don't go for the Buffalo because I know that I'm going to hit the Musashi if I do. The Ibuki used his defensive fire. I do get a flooding on him, so that means if if our team can get a fire on this Yamato, it's going to be permanent. Our Musashi goes down. The Ibuki torps him, and yeah, so now we're 3-on-3. And remember how much of a lead we had 5 minutes ago? Yeah, all down the drain. All down the drain. So yeah, AP bombers are coming in. I'm going to try and kill this Yamato. If I get a good drop on him, I can delete him fully. Get a decent salvo on him. We don't flat out delete him. Just kind of unfortunate. So yeah, if our Worcester can start pissing on this Yamato, we might be able to kill him. I'm going to go in for a capture of C. I do get plane detected, which is a problem. This Iowa spotter plane, I'm going to try and click him. I'm going to try and click that spotter plane with my 3 group. They have no use anyway. I go back to map view. Our torpedo bombers are up. I'm going to have to kill this Iowa. Because he's going to come around the island and dunk on me. Our Iowa kills our Worcester, so now legit the only thing that's left is me and the Asashio, who's up in the north, capping A. I get citadeled by the Yamato, and yeah, so that means I have to angle in. I angle in to make sure I don't get citadeled again. Midway actually has some pretty trolly armor. It has 87mm deck, I think, and 32mm on the hull. Its armor is pretty good. You can actually tank a bit. Like, I wouldn't recommend it since you're so valuable, and if you die, then it's pretty much game over for your team. But in time of need, you can actually tank. So torpedo bombers are here. We're going to try and finish off this Yamato first off. Make sure he doesn't get any more salvos in than he has to. 4 group coming in. For some reason I don't go for the Yamato. Thinking back, I should finish the Yamato. But we know we're gonna guaranteed we're gonna kill this Iowa. Actually, AP bombers are coming in to finish off the Yamato. We get the high caliber award, and we get chunked again. That was, yeah, that could have been avoided, but he's dead now, so it's all good. 100 health. 7 group is going to come in and finish the job, and that is our 4th kill for the game. Now we can cap. I'm going to cap C, and the only thing that's left is this Ibuki. So I damage control the fire. I try and get him. I try to bait the defensive fire, make him waste it on the fighters. I'm going to tag the catapult plane so that my bombers have an easy job. My fighters aren't dying really fast, so that indicates that his defensive fire hasn't been used. I go for a strafe on his catapult plane. 2 planes aren't enough to kill him, unfortunately. And yeah, I almost have C cap. We're 991 points off, and that's almost game right there. We have 7 seconds to capture, but 1 point to win, and that should be game. Had I had maybe 5 more seconds, I could have crackened on that Ibuki, but we won. That's all that matters. So that's the end of that replay. I got a total of 211,000 damage, 10 citadels, 13 torpedo hits. Get more floods than last time. 4 kills. That could have been a Kraken. maybe, well, we won, that's all that matters. So you get the high caliber award, and team wise I am first. And that's pretty much it for this replay right here. This is part 2 of Hans's TV. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.